Good Saturday morning to you folks. Pooch is out in the shop and he's got shirts to do. I figured I'd drag y'all in, tag y'all along a little bit, because everybody always wants to see the shirt process. But I gotta get my bearings straight. I kind of stayed up later than I normally do last night, but I had a good time. Thanks to Mike's Fishing Home. Yes sir. We got up on his live last night. He was kind enough to pull me in, and we chatted it up for a few hours. It was a good time, and Mike, greatly appreciate you bringing me in there and allowing Pooch to come up on your live, and it was a free-for-all. And if you folks ain't watched it, or if you wasn't in there, you probably ought to go back and watch it. It was a good time. We had some good fun there last night. But I got to do some shirts this morning. I got to print off some 4th of July. I say 4th of July. Some patriotic shirts for my church. I've already got started on, and I'm actually cutting the transfers out that I've got, breaking them down, and let's see. But this is what will be done. God, one nation. But if you notice it though, it's God with the cross and one nation under it. So, one nation under God. Yes sir. But I'm in the process of cutting them things down, and Pooch dang near cut his finger off. I ain't trying to gross y'all out, but yeah, I was cutting away. I had to trim these back a little bit with scissors before I put them through a paper cutter. That paper cutter's not quite the size I need, and it's my fault. I left the arm up on that thing, and I went to grab the scissors, and I raked that finger across that blade, and yes sir, I cut that sucker dang near to the bone. You know how sharp those things are? They're so sharp, it does it so fast you don't even know it. And man, boy, I was bleeding like son of a gun. Probably needed to go get stitches, but Pooch ain't that type. I'll go in there and get a needle and thread out of the drawer and do it myself before I go to the doctor. So anyway, that's that. But I've got most of these trimmed back already, and I'm not gonna run you folks through every bit of that. I'm not gonna run you folks through me printing all these shirts, because I think I got 55 to do. So you seen 1, 2, I'll probably put it in a fast mode. But anyway, Pooch is out here today and we're getting after it. I'm not quite sure what I might attach to this here video later on too before I post it, but we got to get after it. So y'all go on, stay tuned, and let's watch. Yes sir. And like I said, I'm using these here transfers, and I'm having to cut them down a little bit. And this is what I'm doing right here. I'm taking my scissors, I'm cutting right along the sides of that, because this here paper cutter's not quite wide enough. I need to buy a bigger one, but I'm cutting that edge off, and then I'm taking it down here, and I'm just cutting it back a little bit. Cut that piece off, cut that piece off, cut that piece off, trim this one down a little bit, lay it there, lay that one there, and cut these back. I'll trim this one back just a little bit too. But as you can tell, I got 3 off of that. And then I got 2 off of this. So that's what Pooch is doing right now. Cutting down these transfers so that I can get them ready and slap on the shirts. This is actually going to be on the front of a shirt. And this one right here will be on the back towards the top between the shoulder blades. So I got a few more to do. I've done most of them, but I got a few more to do. So I'll probably just whip you in there on time lapse while I get at it. Sit back and watch. Knock these out. Yes, sir. Well, while I get this press heated up, I got to get it up to the right temp to press these shirts. But I've gone through, I've counted all my shirts to make sure I've got the ones I need for this order. And I'm actually going to be printing 2 different shirts today. Well, I don't know that I'll get to the second one, but the first one I'm doing is that One Nation Under God. And that one's priority. So I have 55 of those shirts that I'm going to be printing. Now the different thing about the prints that I'm actually about to use, they are ultra color soft transfer, and rather than being a press and peel, they've got to be cooled before I can actually peel it. So I'm just going to be running through. I'm going to press that material on. And I ain't quite figured out yet if I'm going to go ahead and press the back too, the back part. I might, because I hate backtracking and I just try to be as efficient as possible. So I'll probably go ahead and print the front and back, lay them to the side, run through about 5 of them, stop while those are cool, go back and peel those transfers off. And then I'll fold them as I go, put them in the box. Like I said, I got 55 of these things to do. I need to get them done. I want to deliver them this evening to the customer so they've got them ahead of time and they can get them on their website or whatever they're doing with them. So anyway, once I get it rolling, I get rolling, and y'all will see that. I'm gonna have y'all in time lapse, but well, I'll probably do one just to show you guys, that way you know. And if you care to watch the rest of that sucker of me just whizzing through, because it will be in time lapse, but that's what I'm waiting on now. Wait for this press to heat up. Let me give an explanation of this press to some folks, because I know some people don't really. Oh, well, I got kind of way out there. But some people are curious about this stuff, and I understand it. Those of you that subscribe to my channel, there's some that come through and check it out that don't subscribe. But a lot of people are curious and interested in heat press and t-shirts and whatnot. So this equipment I have, it is what they call a auto clamshell, and it is a Hottronics made by, or Hottronics by Stalls. I use Stalls for everything. Stalls and Stalls Transfer Express. It's a great company. Love those folks. But this is a commercial grade quality auto clam, auto open, pressure setting, everything, heat press. These platens are interchangeable. I've got different size platens I can put on this thing, and it is on a stand, which, as you can see, which I do like. A lot of them sit on tops like this one over here that I got. And this is a good reputable one too. This one does have a slide drawer. My Hottronics over here doesn't, but this is a heat press Nation, and it's an auto open too, temperature and all. That's just a secondary. But yeah, this is a workhorse right here. I couldn't tell you how many shirts that I've actually printed through this machine. It's been a lot. I've never had any issues with it. She works perfect every time. Have never had an issue with it. So it's about 2 years old, I think. Temperatures, it maintains temperatures pretty well. It's pretty accurate. It's got this protective sleeve over it to protect your platen. I usually like to put some butcher paper or parchment paper underneath it on the top platen. You know, you want to preserve and take care of this platen here. So, but that's just an added extra protection. Some folks lay their paper on top of their transfers when they're doing it, but I liked just placing mine, sticking it with magnets on there. That way I ain't fumbling around with something. It's all about speed for me, man. And it is a dual timer set. You know, I can press it, do the timer for my pre-press, and then I can also set the time for the actual dwell time of this machine, and it does well. And today, normally we press on Bella canvas, but I am using Gildan soft style. These are a fine shirt as well. They're not quite as pricey as the Bella canvases that we normally use, but you know, it just goes to show there are several different brands of shirts out there that you could use. This is a good shirt. I like them. They're soft, so they work out pretty well. It's a lower cost compared to a Bella canvas, and you know, some people go for that. My next run will be running those gray ones over here for my next order. These as well are Gildan soft, ultra soft. Good shirt, good products. Hey, and the next run I'll be also using ultra color soft transfers as well. So it'll be the same process. It'll be heat, press, let them cool down before you peel. So takes a little extra time, but if you wrap off 5 of them at a time, come back and peel them, do your other 5, come back and peel them, everything work out great. But yeah, did I mention I about near cut my darn finger off? But good gosh, yeah, that hurt. Doesn't really hurt now, but anyway, well, you folks sit tight. We about to get after it. This machine is about heated up to the temperature I want it, so we'll be doing some shirts here in a moment. Yes, sir. Alrighty, I think we're about ready. I always start from the smaller ones and work my way up. So anyway, again, this is a front and back shirt press. I am starting with mediums, not doing any small ones this time, so that's a good. But anyway, I'll take that back. I am doing smalls, but going with the small, I'm lining it up on my press, on my platen, putting it centered. There's my tag. I'm centered because I do mark mine. I'm gonna bring her down a little bit, bringing that collar there with that seam below this here platen, because I want to get as much pressure on this thing as possible. Just kind of making sure it's all lined up good. Everything looks good so far. And I'm gonna give it a pre-press. And that way I can check my pressure as well. I'm at a 6, 7. That's pretty good. Maybe a little too much, but it's liable to go down a little bit here in a moment. But I pre-pressed it for 5 seconds. I wanted to get that moisture out of that shirt. And now I am going to place this here transfer on it. One nation under God. And well, you know what? Let me make sure I know where my center point is. You know, I'll do this a couple times just to get the idea, and then I'll pretty much eyeball it the rest of the way. I can see I'm right in the center of that D, so that'll be my eyeballing point from here on out probably. I usually go about 3 fingers down. My mark that I just folded, I'm looking to see that I'm in line with my little points that I use to measure off of, but I also like to bring my fingers in as well on the sides, just to kind of verify, make sure there's nothing else happening. And I need to go over just a hair, it looks like. Just a hair. And I want to make sure it's nice and straight before I slap her down on there. Everything looks pretty good, so the next press I put down, it's gonna be for the 14 seconds. Let that baby set, and then I will be placing this little small tag type. This is the church logo, which is going to go on the back between the shoulder blades. I'm going to go ahead and peel this off. I'm going to throw this on there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get it lined up. This is, you don't have to do it this way, but for time, for me, this is how I'm going to do it. I'm right there. Now these backs, I like to normally go about 2 fingers down off the top of it. That way I make sure it's kind of between the shoulder blades and all. That one looks pretty good. It's centered. Yes, sir. I'm going to do the same on it, except let her down for a minute. I don't really need to give it that press. Let that baby sit there. And then I'll lay it to the side. I'll grab another one, and then I'll be getting after it. There we go. I'm just gonna lay it over here. Let her kind of cook, cool down, and then I'll come back and I'll peel it. So from this point on, I'm gonna put you in time lapse. Yes, sir. Well, alrighty. I knocked those first 5 out. Of course, y'all were in time lapse, but I just wanted to show you the final process that goes along with these shirts here, because it is a code peel. That means I had to let these transfers kind of cool off before you could actually peel them. There's the back. So we can get to peeling them now. And let me see if I can do this maybe somehow with y'all watching this without, well, it may be kind of hard. There we go. I got that front peeled, and she looks pretty good. We'll whip it over on the back, and we'll do the same. We're just gonna take it and peel it off. And again, it peeled nice and clean. Let me see if I can get you guys set up and just show you how this thing looks now that we got it peeled and done and all that good stuff. So let you see a final, because I'm about to get rolling pretty good with these things, and y'all won't be able to keep up. But there you go. One nation under God. Pathway Church logo on the back between the shoulder blades. And we about to get after it. So I'll check back in with you guys here in a bit, let you know the progress I'm making, but I'm about to get rolling for sure and be back shortly. Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Well, it's a Sunday afternoon, and it's a hot mofo in here. But last you saw me was Saturday, and I had to knock out a bunch of shirts. Well, I got that done. I about amputated my finger. I cut that sucker pretty good on that guillotine paper cutter in there. It was an accident, but it got me. Sure did. Probably should have got some stitches, but I just wrapped her up real tight, got that bleeding to stop, put a bandage on her. Well, washed her off, of course, with peroxide and all that. I even put some of the good old camphofenique on there. And let me tell you something, it burnt like fire. But cleaned up, dried up, Neosporin, wrapped her with a bandage. And I still got up this morning, did the same. I got her wrapped up still, but I know I'll use it. I'll use this hand, and I'm probably gonna split her back open. I hope not. I'm gonna try to be easy with it, but there's a good chance I'll split it back open, but we'll see. I got a few chores to do today. I gotta get on the old Tundra. I'm gonna pull the front wheels off, check the brakes, probably replace the pads. I even got new rotors. But I'm gonna look at her first, because it's pretty dadgum hot in here, and I might, if I can get by with it, just put new pads on it for now, because I really don't want to sit out here all day and cook in this oven. I need to get the big fan out and get some air blowing through here. But anyway, my pretty's back. She was gonna be back today, but I guess they got bored on their little trip, and she got back in the wee hours of the morning, about 12:45 or so. They all decided they wanted to go home. So pretty's back home, safe and sound, in there stretched out on the divan, taking a nap. That's quite all right. So Pooch is out here, gotta get after stuff, and he's gonna bring y'all along with me. Well, now that I got those wheels, the truck jacked up and wheels off, I was kind of taking a look at these things because I was ready to replace the rotors and all, but I don't think I'm gonna need to replace the rotors right now. and which is a good thing because I ain't really up for doing that right now. Now I've already bought them and I was ready to do it, but I'm just gonna put new pads on it. And yeah, these things are ready. I don't think there's no turning them, so I had them turned the last couple times. Usually I do, but I need to do a pretty good brake job on this thing and replace more than just the rotors. I need to probably do the calipers and all of it. It's got 240 something thousand miles on this truck, and I've pulled a lot of weight, trailers and all, so it takes a beating, and these are big beefed up brakes on these trucks. But anyway, for now I'm just gonna put some new pads on it and I'm gonna send her. Yes, sir. Now before I get off into that, I might as well enjoy a cold snack first. I like working in stages. You know, get a little done, have yourself a cold snack, do a little more, indulge in another cold snack. So before I get started, I'm gonna have myself a little cold snack. Yeah. May not work for all y'all, but it works pretty good for me. So let's just take this little quick break and then we'll get back after it. Yes, sir. Now before Pooch gets too wrapped up into this after he's had his break, the next thing he's gonna need is a little bit of calm down in the old lip. That kind of helps Pooch keep his cool. Because when you're working on stuff, anything can happen. And I'm pretty good at getting bent out of shape real quick when something ain't cooperating. So I like to have all my stuff here together, ready to go. And that includes the old cheater bar, or whatever you want to call it. A cheater bar, a attitude adjuster, any of that. Because this little thing right here will work in many ways. And being that I've already got my finger damaged, I'm gonna have to be real careful. So there's a good chance Pooch could lose his cool. But I'm gonna try to be okay. I'm gonna try to be all right, and we're gonna get this caliper off, and we're gonna spread her out, and we're gonna put some new pads on her. Yes, sir. Now, first things first is we got to get this caliper off here. Get that baby undone. I didn't need that breaker bar. Let's get this baby undone here and get her off. Come on. I got air tools, but I don't feel like dragging it all out. I just want to get it done because it's hot. It is hot out here. I got that big fan blowing. If y'all hear that racket, that's the big fan going over there. It's got a little air blowing across. Come on, let's go. And it don't help doing this with a cut up finger, let me tell you. Okay, I got them out. You always want to try to keep yourself up. Well, that ain't in the right place, I don't know why, but you always want to need to keep yourself means to hang that up if you need to. Now, this thing's probably set on there pretty good, but like, she's a sliding. Look at there, she's coming off. Usually, you got to beat the thunder out of it to get it off there. And you got to be careful with these here brake lines, because you can screw them up too. Okay, I'm just making sure I ain't gonna screw this line up, so. I definitely don't want to do that. Okay. Definitely want to be careful with them things. Just for Pete's sake, I'm being careful, because I don't like doing that. But you know, these little thin aluminum lines, you get them in a pinch, you'll be replacing brake lines, and I don't much feel like doing that. Okay, I'm gonna cut y'all off for this while I make sure I got everything good and secure, so I don't go screwing something up, because I don't want to screw this up. Anyway, I'll get you back in here in a second. All right, I've got the old pads out, and what I did after I got those pads out is I took this C-clamp and I compressed the brake pads in here to compress the calipers. That way, when I put the new pads in, I should be able to slide that thing and drop it right back on this rotor. Now granted, it was kind of a booger, and I'm glad I wasn't recording it, but I did manage to get them off. I've got the caliper compressed. I'm about to install my new pads, and then we'll be putting this thing back on, and then I'll do the same on the other side. So let's get after it. Now, as y'all can see, I've got those new pads on. Look at that thickness in there. I had a heck of a time getting this caliper relined up, but you know, that's what that rubber mallet and that little equalizer's for. I got her in there. She's in, new pads, new springs, cleaned up the best I could, the little caliper brake pad rods holders. So she's back in place. She's tightened up, the caliper's tightened back up to the wheel assembly. So let's get on to the other side. Yes, sir? Now, I ain't too sure how that fan's, what kind of air it's feeding that microphone on this GoPro, but at least it's to my back and I'm getting a little more breeze this time. But while I'm sitting here studying this thing, which I've already done the other side, now I'm on the driver's side. The drinker side was a little bit of a pain. I don't know why, but I figured it out. And I figured out probably why I was wrestling with it so much. Now this time, I positioned this wheel in the best position possible. Now granted, this ain't my first time on this truck, but you know, there's always that little hiccup that's gonna slow you down and test your patience. So before I get all bent out of shape, I'm gonna sit here, let this fan blow on me. Okay, I got those brakes done. I haven't pulled her out and gave them a good press yet, but I did do it while I was in the shop. But while I got this thing in here, I'm gonna plug this OBD2 reader into this thing and just check for codes, see if I got any. I'm coming up on an inspection next month, July of 22. I ain't got no worries, but you know, I just like to kind of keep track of what's going on with the old Toyota Tundra. So we'll plug this baby in and we'll see what she's saying, if anything. So let's do it. Yes, sir. I'm gonna plug this thing into the reader, or the OBD2 connection down here. All right, she's lit up. So I'm gonna run a check for codes real quick, see if she's got anything. Okay, it's initializing right now. Verify that the ignition is on. Let's do it. All right, here we go. All right, I don't have any codes found, so that's a good. Alrighty, well, that's all I needed to know. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't no codes pulling up on this thing. So we're good. Let's exit out of it. Let's turn the key off. Let's unplug that thing. Well, that told me all I wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't no codes up on it. So we're gonna fire this thing up. We're gonna run it out. Of course, I got plenty of land, plenty of space. I'm gonna run that thing outside, jam on the brakes a few times, make sure they're good and seated. You know what I mean? Get this thing warmed up, and I turn the air on because it's hot. Woo wee! Get these windows up. But that was just a basic front brake job that I just did. I thought I was going to change the rotors, but they didn't look bad. Of course, I know I've probably done maybe 3 front brakes jobs on this truck since I've had it, and that's had it since it was new. But like I said, I've pulled some heavy weight, pulled some heavy trailers, and she's wore them brakes out. I just did the back brakes not too long ago, but I'm gonna pass on the rotors this time. For one, it's just too dang hot. They didn't look too bad. Now, if these pads wear out pretty darn quick, which I use ceramic pads, and if they wear out pretty quick again, hopefully they do it in the fall or winter when it's cool and I won't be burning up and baking like a turkey in this here shop, I'll do them then. But let's back this thing out of here and let's go test on the brakes a little. Yes, sir. Okay, now I'm gonna do this holding you guys, but we're gonna back out of here. I've tightened all the lugs on the wheels. I need to change the oil, but I don't have any oil with me right now, so I'll do that later. I'll pick it up one day this week and we'll get the oil changed. I'd like to have done it right then, but oh well. Let me go out here. I'll go out here and do some donuts or something. No, I ain't gonna do no donuts. Why don't you get the weed eater out? That's for sure. me hit them brakes real good. Yeah. Pull on out here. Well, feels pretty good. There's a fence line that I'm working on, which I need to get out here, but it's too dang hot. Alright, let's go on down through here pretty quick and let's hit them brakes. Woo, yeah. They feeling pretty good. That's all I wanted to know. So, I reckon this little project's done. Don't want to take down flower bed, but everything's burnt up out here anyway. It's so blame hot and dry. We need some rain. But yes, the brakes are done. I'm done. Probably need to go in there and take a shower. And my pretty's home, so maybe, I don't know, she might be hungry. Might need to get out and go grab something to eat or something. But anyway, that's gonna wrap it up on this one, folks. Probably gonna get a cold snack before I go inside and take a shower. But yes, sir. Anyway, like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and we'll check you in on the next one. I might upload something else later. I might add to this one later. Anyway, y'all have a good Sunday afternoon, and we'll see you again. Everybody needs a friend named Pooch, and they call me Pooch. Yes, sir.